The Australian newspapers on the 20th of February talk about the debacle. There's Cummins, Smith and Warner. Swing and miss in Delhi debacle, says the Australian. Swept away. Hopes shot in a dire collapse. AB shell-shocked at the collapse. Read it and sweep are the headlines. It's the deeds that matter, not the words, says Gideon Haigh. Hi, it's Norman Kochnick here for Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnick, now called Eyes on Sports, in collaboration with Sri Harsha Cricket and a number of other platforms. Here to talk to you today, Monday morning, the 20th of February 2023, about yesterday's second test debacle, the Delhi debacle as it's been called in the papers by a number of the Australian newspaper press. We have a situation where the test was diabolical, and in fact the Australian newspaper is one of the papers I will show you. You can see the headline there. We'll go down to the actual article itself and you'll see that it says, you can see the article, can you all? Yes, you can. Delhi disaster has Cummins and co reeling. You can see very closely the actual face of both Cummins, Smith and Dave Warner, who's still there. All look very forlorn to me, and their approach to this match. And in fact, it's one of those days that they'd rather forget. We of course have the back page of that particular newspaper saying swing and miss in Delhi debacle. So swing and miss, as in applying it to the sweep shot. You can see the likes of Steve Smith getting out here in the article itself. You can see that the article does spend a lot of time talking about the swing and miss and the Delhi debacle, the Delhi disaster. Gideon Haigh says, it's the deeds that matter, not the words. He starts by saying, one of the recurrent, slightly haunting refrains of Australia's tour of India has been the one with your name on it. That fatalistic idiom of trench warfare about bullets and destinies, which refers there to the delivery from either Ashwin or Jadeja or perhaps Axar Patel getting them out. In fact, of course, Jadeja and Ashwin have taken 31 wickets out of the 40 that have been dismissed in the last two tests. Gideon Haigh goes on to talk about, it comes up every other press conference like a mantra or a benediction. Got to look to the score. Got to put pressure on the bowlers. Got to be proactive, but with intent. Why? Because out there, waiting, lurking somewhere over the parapet is that one with your name on it. The unplayable delivery, the irresistible force. And that's really what Gideon Haigh is summarising here. Good old Crash Craddock is also there. You can see both Crash Craddock's articles and Gideon Haigh. Robert Crash Craddock talks about how Aussies' plans got swept away. Pun on the word swept. It's quite disastrous. Peter Lawler, swing and miss in Delhi debacle, as I said earlier. Australia's disaster on day 3 at Delhi has invoked ire from past greats and anger from fans as all parts of the team approach the series, the match's question. So quite damning words indeed. So there we have it from the Australian. Some great writers in that paper, by the way. Of course, the Daily Telegraph talks more about the flippancy of being swept away, the fact that hopes shot in a dire collapse, a horrific collapse actually, it's quite bad indeed. So that's the Daily Telegraph. And they go on and they talk about read it and weep, which I would call it to be, but it's actually read it and sweep, the pun on the word there. And AB, which is Alan Boyd, was shell-shocked at the collapse. Aussies missed the memo, missed the document in batting shambles. They missed what they were told to do. This one's probably the most damaging for Pat Cummins. And I think his days are numbered as captain if he keeps losing this way. Pats on the back vanish. And that's true. If the pats on Pat Cummins' back are beginning to slowly but surely vanish. Swept away. There we have it. The morning papers here in Sydney on Monday the 20th of February, both the Daily Telegraph and the Australian, which is Australia-wide, setting it as it is. Stay tuned. Australia's newspapers, Norman Kochnick, Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnick, Eyes on Sports, and Sri Harsha Cricket. Stay tuned for more.